Let's talk conspiracy. So this is Lex Wexner. All right, he's one of the most powerful and richest billionaires on earth. And he's so powerful, according to some sources, that he's part of the Mossad, na part daw siya ng Israel. Okay? Malaki ang influence niya sa America, especially with CPAC. Right? If you're familiar with American politics, you should know who this guy is. And according to conspiracy theorists, in the latest Jeffrey Epstein dump or drop, he is Jeffrey Epstein's principal. And he's the owner or principal of a lot of businesses like Abercrombie and Fitch. What else? Victoria's Secret. He co-founded Bath and Body something. I don't know. So anyway, so let's talk about this guy and this particular deposition with his lawyer sitting beside him is going to open, cans of worms. A lot of conspiracy theories are gonna like this. Are gonna be talking about this for months from today. So I don't know when this took place, but it started going viral since yesterday. And let's listen because as we can see here, Epstein benefactor Lex Wexner's attorney caught on a hot mic. I don't know if that was intentional actually. Let's try to watch, by the way, because let me just make sure, because I usually, it's actually 1 times only speed. So I thought it was 1.5. But, okay, this guy, Lex Wexner, is the guy or the man who gave Jeffrey Epstein billions. They say 700 million and then up to probably billions. And he thought of himself as somehow or somewhat possessed by the devil, according to Whitney Webb. And we're going to be talking about Whitney Webb. Okay, for those who are familiar with this conspiracy-ish scandal or issue, Whitney Webb was the Epstein files before Epstein's files got dropped or dumped. Okay, this year and last year. So, all right, let's see, because again, this is the deposition of Lex Wexner, and the guy sitting beside him is his lawyer.
Regularly done.
Okay, so again, I don't know if that was staged, but this is a real deposition. I'm gonna effing kill you if you're gonna say how many words, 5 words, to answer the question. So let's try to look for other sources, because some people provided what do you call that? Okay, this one. They provided texts, okay, captions. Okay, hold on. Is this okay? This is the part. This is
personal work for the Rothschild.
Okay, he's talking about. This is giving us a better context here, because the first clip was like not giving us a lot of context to think about what exactly is going on in this clip. So okay, he's talking about Rothschild family. As I said, this is going to activate the conspiracy theory world, okay, globally, and let's watch and listen.
Doing personal work for the Rothschild family in France.
Oh.
Well, specifically, I talked to Ellie.
So he's talking about Epstein doing some kind of work, personal work for the Rothschild family in France, because they're based in France, and we're going to be talking about Emmanuel Macron as well. Emmanuel Macron, and we're going to be looking at the Epstein emails in the Epstein.world. Okay, I think that's a simulation of his email.
Well, specifically, I talked to Ellie de Rothschild, since I mentioned that earlier. So he represented their whole families. There have been a whole bunch of people that, most of them I never would have met, but I knew Ellie. He would say, like, I'm providing financial advice to the founders of Google.
Wow.
Financial.
These are the richest and the most influential people and families on the planet. This guy's talking about is implicating Rothschild. I don't know. He's supposed to be powerful according to Whitney Webb, and he should not worry about going to jail, as his principal or I don't know benefactor did, Jeffrey Epstein. But okay, let's continue.
Providing financial advice to Jeff Bezos.
Oh. And that's when the lawyer whispered, "I will effing kill you if you answer another question." Is that how powerful the Rothschild family is? That this lawyer this lawyer risk being caught in a hot mic as he did here with more than 5 words. Okay, and according to some people on X, oh damn, this old man looks so scared.
Answer the question. Okay. Doing personal
I mean,
work.
okay, is that stage? Are they trying to stage something? I mean, it's either the Rothschild family is so powerful that they're able to make this lawyer whisper those words to Lex Wexner to stop him from talking and implicating, the Rothschild family more, or they're trying to stage this particular scene in Lex Wexner's deposition. I don't know, but that tells us something about the dynamics here. Okay, so again, as I said previously, the case of Jeffrey Epstein is so complicated. It has a lot of layers. The fact that he's tied to Mossad, he's tied to CIA as well, and he's been traveling to Saudi Arabia, and he's also doing these rituals with the Democrats, with Bill Clinton, with Hillary Clinton, the Pizzagate scandal, the kids, the babies. Oh my God, the ranch in Mexico, the Zorro Ranch, and a lot of things, the island, etc. So, and this is another angle. This is another side of the story. It's a darker world that we're talking about. So if you think the eating babies stuff and other dark stuff are evil enough, this one is equally dark and evil as well. Because again, this guy mentioned the Rothschild family, and if we're gonna go to Epstein.world, this is again the real email, okay, the real email of Jeffrey Epstein, okay, gmail.world. It contains all of his emails. I don't know if it contains all of his emails, but basically it does according to sources. So what we're gonna search in this email, okay, of Epstein is Emmanuel Macron, because according to conspiracy theorists, like for example Candace Owens, okay, Emmanuel Macron, who mysteriously became the president of France, yeah, not prime minister, president of France, despite being, a mediocre banker from the Rothschild Bank. He's not that, hindi siya matalino eh. He's a mediocre. Wala siyang alam. I mean, he's bobo siya. Okay? But for some reason, with connections, mysterious connections, he was able to become big within the Rothschild's bank, and then became the leader of France. For some reason, that a lot of French and journalists are still baffled up until today. So, okay, searching now, and I already did earlier, and we're talking about Aryan the Rothschild here. And he's part of the Rothschild family. I mean, and I really believe that he's, according to conspiracy theorists, okay, and a lot of times, what we called conspiracy theories before became reality in truth today, like the Epstein files, like the Pizzagate that was attempted to be covered up by the global media, including Rappler in the Philippines, including Maria Ressa in the Philippines. And I really thought that Maria Ressa would be included in the Epstein emails, but so far her name is unsearchable. So okay, they're talking about Emmanuel Macron here, and this was 2016 when Emmanuel Macron was not yet the leader of France. He was probably still part of the Rothschild's bank at this point. So Aryan the Rothschild is telling Jeffrey Epstein, agree, worrying people, I have lunch Tom with Emmanuel Macron, a family member, according to Candace Owens. Okay, yep, because his parents are some kind of suspicious as well. That they're probably, according to Candace Owens and some conspiracy theories, kumbaga sila lang yung nag-alaga sa kanya. They were Emmanuel Macron's caretaker. Okay, but he's actually part of the Rothschild family. Okay, and they have this chocolate factory in France. They're rich. All right, so okay, that's one thing, and this one as well. This is the first time I'm seeing all this. So Francesco told me they were enthusiastic after our meeting, and this was the date here is 2016 as well. So most likely 2016 when Trump was already president, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, not yet, not yet. Months before he became president by November that year in 2016. So, Arian de Rothschild is a point of contact here. And ang dami. So, I don't know. It's probably gonna take us forever to look for YouTube gold here, as they say. Pero, yeah, Arian de Rothschild, and I think Arian de Rothschild is also shown in this particular, I'm not sure, clip wherein she's talking about she's talking about incest, the incest in the family, in the Rothschild family, that it's necessary to keep the wealth within the family. I think that's Arian de Rothschild talking about the value of incest within the Rothschild family, and that's part of Candice Owens' documentary or rant on YouTube, if I'm not mistaken. So, all right, enough of Emmanuel Macron, but definitely it's been established that Epstein is an agent of the Rothschild family. I think he said that. He said that actually. He's an agent of the Rothschild family. He worked for them, as he said in one email. I just don't have that, but I just don't have the number. But this is Philip Siegel. Peggy Siegel, if I'm not mistaken, is a Hollywood agent who was so mad that the Me Too movement of the Democrats in America in 2017, 2018, 2019 backfired on them. It backfired on the Democrats. So that's what happened. But anyway, so let's go back to X and let's try to search. Anyway, so we're going to search Rothschild Epstein. So this is the deposition video of Lex Wexner. So Lex Wexner just confirmed that Epstein worked for the Rothschild. And this is the email I'm talking about, if I'm not mistaken. So, okay, I represent the Rothschild. It's showing here on this part, okay, the yellow shade here. So this is Jeffrey Epstein talking to Peter Thiel, or Thiel, okay, the owner. I'm not sure if this is the owner, but the big boss of Palantir. Okay, Palantir is, according to Whitney Webb, now the new Jeffrey Epstein, because a lot of people were asking who's gonna replace Jeffrey Epstein. And the answer of Whitney Webb, I've been following Whitney Webb for years actually. Her answer is it's Palantir. We are in an era or world wherein we no longer need Jeffrey Epstein. That blackmail is not done the traditional way. It's gonna be done the electronic way through Palantir. And that's according to Whitney Webb. So let's check on that. So, okay, that's one thing that we're going to talk about. So, Whitney Webb and Epstein. No, we're going to do Wexner. Okay, this one, wherein she's talking about Bill Gates.
And the Epstein's ties to the Clinton Foundation and how it was used.
Yeah, the Clinton Foundation, but here's a part. Okay, here's a part wherein Whitney Webb is talking about the next Epstein.
But again, to bring it back to a question you asked earlier on about, Israel and blackmail. They don't really need blackmail anymore. Yeah. And I argue at the end of my book that Palantir, Peter Thiel's company, really makes it so that, that's the new Jeffrey Epstein.
So the Palantir is the new Jeffrey Epstein. Why am I highlighting Whitney Webb? Because like I said earlier, before there was Epstein Files, there was Whitney Webb's book that was talking all about this. She's vindicated. Okay, she was one of the first who talked about the connection between Lex Wexner and Jeffrey Epstein, and then the Rothschild family, and then even Grok the time and ChatGPT were like accusing Whitney Webb of being a conspiracy theorist because they didn't have enough data online at the time to really scrape. Let's try to refine our search because I really need that video for optic purposes in audio as well. So, all right, here's a clip that I'm talking about wherein Whitney Webb is talking about the fact that Lex Wexner is not going to go to jail. All right.
Yeah, I don't anticipate Leslie Wexner being arrested at any point. He is far too powerful, and his money is everywhere. And honestly, he has extremely deep ties to numerous officials in the Israeli government through his philanthropies. He focused pretty much the bulk of the Wexner Foundation on training up prominent figures, first in the U.S. In the Jewish community in particular, and now those fellows, those Wexner fellows, essentially run APAC. It has an extremely close relationship with APAC, obviously one of the most powerful lobbying groups in the United States. And the other side of his leadership training via his foundation has been with Israeli public officials who have, these relationships as a result of that.
Correct. So basically, she's saying that Wexner is too powerful to go to jail because he's got hold of the APAC in America, the one of the biggest lobbies in America, and also the Israeli government in Mossad. So that's what she's saying here. So okay, one thing I'd like to point out is, yeah. By the way, Whitney Webb's book is the one entitled "One Nation Under Blackmail," and we're talking about blackmail here. That was one of the main crafts of Jeffrey Epstein. That's what made him the agent of the Rothschild and Lex Wexner. So it turns out, based on what we're seeing here, that both Lex and Epstein are actually working for the Rothschild family. If the conspiracy theory is accurate, we don't know yet. But that reminds me of the Eyes Wide Shut movie by Stanley Kubrick, who unfortunately died after the release, or prior to release of his blockbuster movie, right? So all right, so let's talk about this. There's one scene that I'd like to show you, the ending part, right? The ending part, and the toy store ending part. So this is the ending part, the toy store scene, and let's try to watch. This is Alice and Bill, husband and wife in the story, and this is their daughter. What I suspect, and a lot of people suspect, is that Alice in the story or the movie, Nicole Kidman, is the handler of Tom Cruise. Kasi ginagawa na yan ni Jeffrey Epstein. Sino yung ginagawa niyang handler ng mga billionaires? One of the best tricks and talents of Jeffrey Epstein is matchmaking. That he introduced women to billionaires to become their spies or handlers. And why? What's the reason na si Tom Cruise ay kailangan siyang may handler? It's because he's the doctor to the elite in this movie. Yung mga client niya, yung mga elite, yung mga powerful, yung mga mayayaman, yung mga members ng yung evil society or dark society. So kailangan niya ng handler. And that's his wife. Kumbaga, everything was orchestrated. That's the reason why halos alam ni Nicole Kidman lahat ng galaw ng kanyang asawa. Because that's her role. Not in the movie, but sa buhay ni Tom Cruise sa story as Bill. At dito, itong toy store scene is when they're gonna sacrifice their daughter, Helena. Okay? That's why mag-e-end yung movie na she's gonna be accompanied by the two old men na laging pinapakita. It's all about symbolism. This movie is rich in symbolism. That's why you really need to watch this movie a lot of times, probably, to understand what the hell is going on. Especially that, according to some stories and conspiracy theories as well, that some scenes had been cut, okay, before the release of this movie and before the death of Stanley Kubrick, who directed it. Right? So, anyway, so let's continue to watch. I like this part wherein the daughter is gonna try to get the plush toy, and it reminds me of the the macaque punch, yung monkey, the macaque na binigyan siya ng toy. Yan, that part. This is really symbolic to me kasi nga, again, this reminds me of si Punch sa isang zoo sa Japan, na kung saan binigyan siya ng plushy toy, na orangutan toy, as his mom, mag-serve na kanyang mom. And that became Punch's yung safety, space. Siya yung nagiging mom niya. And this scene of their daughter trying to, hey, I want this toy, pero hindi siya pinagbigyan ni Alice kasi nga ipapamigay na siya eh. So this is really symbolic na akalain mo yung isang monkey sa isang sa isang Japanese zoo. He was given a toy para magsilbing safety net niya, safety pin. And alam kasi nila yung psychology ng mga animals, diba? Kasi kailangan niya ng isang mom while growing up. And this kid, and let's continue to watch. And sabi niya, no. Kasi you're gonna be sacrificed at the end of the movie. So what I'm trying to connect to here is the fact that Jeffrey Epstein had done all this. Yung mga matchmaking niya, actually, isa sa mga trinay niyang i-matchmake o i-introduce kay Trump was Selena, if I'm not mistaken, Selena, I'm trying to remember the last name. Middlefart? Yeah, Middlefart. Selena Middlefart. A billionaire heiress na naging girlfriend ni Jeffrey Epstein na inintroduce niya kay Trump. And Trump and Selena Middlefart na sa tingin ko ay suspect na siya dapat yung magiging handler ni Trump, maging asawa at maging parang kay Alice. Hindi nangyari kasi nga dinump ni Trump si Selena o Celine Middlefart kay para mapangasawa si Melania Trump, di ba? Yun yung nangyari. So that's it. That's all I would like to share with you about this Jeffrey Epstein saga. Ano pa yung mga stories, mga conspiracy theories na nakalink, and these conspiracy theories, as they would like to call it, kasi nga yung invented lang kasi ng CIA yung term of conspiracy theories to discredit stories like this na gustong cover up ng the powers that be, di ba, are really interesting. And have a good day.